So picture this. The Dursleys, those delightful muggles who raised Harry, weren't just ordinary magicators. Nope, they were living in the shadow of a Horcrux. What if Dursley's dreadful treatment of Harry may not have been just ignorance? No, it could have been the influence of that pesky Horcrux, making everyone within shouting distance just a tad grumpier. Imagine trying to be the Dursleys' cheerful neighbor when there's a Horcrux next door. They probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed every day. And what if those unlucky Dursleys weren't the only ones affected? Could the Horcrux have caused some of Harry's other misfortunes, like his occasional bad luck or Expelliarmus dysfunction? The nature of Horcruxes. Now, we all know that a Horcrux is like the dark chocolate of the wizarding world, incredibly tempting, but oh so evil. But for those who don't know, a Horcrux is basically a soul container. A container for a teeny tiny piece of a dark wizard's or witch's soul. And we all know how precious souls are in the magical realm. Creating a Horcrux is no walk in the forbidden forest, my friends. It involves the most wicked of deeds: murder. Yup. You've got to end someone's magical journey to split your soul like a poorly mixed potion. But why go through all this trouble? Well, dark wizards and witches want to stick around forever, and a Horcrux is their golden ticket to immortality. But there's a catch. The more Horcruxes you make, the more you look like a magic hoarder. And trust me, nobody wants to look like Voldemort. Maybe that's why he's the only one to successfully create more than one Horcrux. Here's where it gets interesting. Horcruxes aren't just a personal matter. Oh no. They're like that one neighbor who never mows their lawn, except they affect your whole street and your soul. A Horcrux can mess with emotions, behavior, and even the general vibe of the area. It's like having a permanent rain cloud over your head. And guess what? The more Horcruxes a dark wizard has, the worse the atmosphere becomes. If you ever find yourself in a gloomy, oppressive, Voldemort-filled neighborhood, consider relocating. Harry Potter as a Horcrux. Picture this. The year is 1981, and he who must not be named is on a baby hunting spree. But his evil plans fail when he tries to zap baby Harry with the killing curse. Harry's mom, Lily, steps in and makes the ultimate sacrifice to save her son, and magic happens. Instead of meeting his untimely end, Harry gets a lightning bolt-shaped scar on his forehead, and Voldemort's soul, yep, a piece of the Dark Lord's soul, decides to set up shop in our young hero. Harry, our beloved boy who lived, becomes an unintentional Horcrux, the Horcrux that Voldemort didn't plan for. Throughout the series, Harry unwittingly carries around this tiny fragment of Voldemort's soul. But that's not even the wildest part. Harry starts having these mind-boggling moments where he can peek into Voldemort's thoughts and emotions. While the books touch on Harry's Horcrux status and his connection with Voldemort, they don't really explore the idea that this magical link could have affected Harry's surroundings. Could the Horcrux influence have made the Dursleys even more unbearable? Maybe Dudley's never-ending appetite was due to this magical mishap. The impact of Horcruxes on surroundings. The wizarding world has given us a couple of prime examples of Horcruxes wreaking havoc on those nearby. Remember Ron and Ginny Weasley's little misadventures with Slytherin's locket and Tom Riddle's diary? Ginny went all graffiti artist on Hogwarts walls, and Ron ditched his buddies at a critical moment. Talk about bad vibes. Now fast forward to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, where our trio stumbles upon Slytherin's locket in the spooky Forest of Dean. The mood takes a nosedive, and it's not just because they're lost in the woods. Nope. That sneaky locket cranks up the negativity meter, amplifying fears and insecurities. It's a tiny glimpse into the storm brewing within a Horcrux's influence on its surroundings. Imagine the Dursley household where poor Harry was stashed away like an unwanted broomstick. Sure, they already had a thing against magic, but what if that Horcrux inside Harry multiplied their hate? Think about it. The Dursleys couldn't stand seeing him even when Harry wasn't setting off fireworks or practicing accidental magic. After a Dementor attack in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, things worsened. Vernon Dursley was on a rage spree, and Aunt Petunia's side-eye could freeze a cauldron of bubbling potion. And when Dumbledore showed up to escort Harry to the Burrow and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the Dursleys' hostility hit epic levels. Dumbledore had to whip out a calming charm just to keep the peace. Now that's saying something. Debunking the theory. Now let's be critical for a moment and consider this theory from the other side. First, remember that Harry is not your typical Horcrux. He's a living, breathing one. He's got a whole soul to himself, intact and everything. It's not like the inanimate Horcruxes we're used to, like that sneaky snake Nagini. She doesn't go around terrorizing people, well, except for the fact that she's a giant snake. So a living Horcrux is a whole different ballgame. Plus, Harry wasn't intentionally made into a Horcrux. He was basically a soul magnet due to Voldemort's not-so-successful Avada Kedavra. Making a proper Horcrux involves dark rituals and some serious soul-splitting magic, none of which apply to our boy Harry. So the regular Horcrux rulebook doesn't quite fit the chosen one. Now let's talk about Harry's influence on people. After all, the lad's got a knack for inspiring others to do good, to be better. He's like the Dumbledore of friendship and leadership. So saying that he's turning the Dursleys into worse versions of themselves is like saying Fred and George Weasley would ever turn down a prank opportunity. It's just not happening. The Dursleys were no saints from the get-go. Vernon and Petunia were all about appearances and being as normal could be. Petunia labeled her own sister as a freak when they were kids out of plain old jealousy, and she didn't need Harry's help to keep that belief going. Her bitterness came from her own past, the whole not getting a letter to Hogwarts thing, and she hitched her wagon to Vernon Dursley, Mr. Anti-Wizard himself. When Lily Potter met her unfortunate fate, Petunia had no choice but to take Harry in, all while grumbling about it. Uncle Vernon's hate for Harry had more to do with the kid's resemblance to his dad than any Horcrux voodoo. In fact, Minerva McGonagall and Albus Dumbledore saw it coming a mile away. They knew the Dursleys weren't winning Best Aunt and Uncle awards, with McGonagall calling them the worst sort of Muggles imaginable. Dumbledore figured Petunia's leftover love for her sister was the only thing keeping Harry from being tossed out like a used broomstick. So what do you think about this theory? Let us know in the comments section. Remember to like and subscribe so you never miss the exciting content we send you.